Hello, hello, and welcome to another live. Um, so today I will be utilizing. Do I need a card in here? I don't think so. What? Where is this deck? Hello? Oh, it's right here. LOL. I'm like, where's this deck? As my hand is literally on it. I'm going to be using the 8 bit. Is it the 8-bit Fantasy Tarot? Is that what it's called? The little pixely one. Excuse me. Usually, this is all a part of the video today. It's all a part of it. I'm going to be doing that keystone spread, whatever I called it. Excuse me, the one that was the collaboration between Gemini and I. And yeah, you definitely can't tell right now. You probably won't be able to tell when I turn the video on, but the overhead light is actually on. Surprisingly, I'm just using this little ring light situation that my number one fan got a long time ago. The I Ching program is still open. I kind of want to use it low key. Sure, why not? I'm trying to navigate to OBS. OBS isn't even open yet. That's how in it we are today. I kind of want to keep the excess chitter chatter is the word, right? Kind of want to keep the excess chitter chatter to a minimum, especially at the top of this, which is kind of wild because I I guess I could do it in silence because I don't even have this set up yet, right? Okay. Yeah, I can still do it in silence. That's fine. We're going to be doing it in silence today. I think I heard some thunder, which honestly appropriate for the energy on here lately. Oh, I said I would try to keep the chitter chatter to a minimum. So, yeah, I have it just on the thing, right? I'm using it directly from the community post posted 2 weeks ago. The Keystone spread taken from a conversation with Gemini on the 618 live. I'll read it. And this is, I guess, part of the intention setting. Um, yeah. So I'm just going to read it. Read the community post, right? The Keystone spread. This spread maps the transformation from the old pattern to the new energy. It visualizes the arch with the most powerful transformation happening at the highest point. The foundation is card one, the rut. This card reveals the exact nature of the habit or pattern that you are currently breaking. It is the solid ground or the before. Cards two and three, the rising pillars. Convergence. These two cards show the forces gathering. Card two represents your preparation, internal forces, effort, and readiness. Card three represents divine collaboration, external timing, unexpected luck, synchronization. The threshold, cards four and five. Liminality, card four is what must be left behind, the final release as you step off the pillar. Card five is the active step, the decision or bold action you must take to cross the line. These cards define the breathless moment before the lock. The Nexus and Keystone, cards six and seven. This is the sacred lock. Card six, the Nexus. This is the focal point. It identifies the unexpected event, person, or golden opportunity that is meeting you at your highest point of readiness. Card 7, the Keystone, placed immediately adjacent to card 6. This card reveals the specific action or mindset shift that clicks everything together. It's the active lock that prevents you from sliding back. This is the moment of co creation. The Synergy, card 8. This card defines the beautiful, unstoppable new energy, momentum, and direction of your life now that the arch is permanently established. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I got the layout. So, also, I guess I'm in my significator era. I mean, using significators kind of like as significators era. Um, I'm gonna shuffle it anyway. I haven't shuffled anything. I'm gonna use the 8-bit fantasy tarot and the good tarot. I'm using the good tarot because I feel like it has a good mixture of like different elements, different, not necessarily mundane elements, right? You got like watery realms and all kinds of stuff. The significators I'm going to use the rooftop and the spiritual realm in the places oracle. And these just like sit on the table, right? To sort of anchor in the energy or to align the space. I'm going to breathe. And try to sweat the least amount possible. The heat's supposed to, according to the weather app, I'm supposed to be minimizing the chitter chatter. The heat's supposed to, the dome should have passed. According to the weather app, 7 o'clock p.m., which was roughly 7 hours ago, right? 2 is 14. From 14 to 7 is 7. Seven is, for some reason, 14 was feeling like Cancer. 7 is the Chariot, which is Cancer, but 14 was feeling like Cancer. 14 is Temperance. And if we think of Cancer as the home, um, then Temperance almost as a function of a boundary. I guess it depends on a lot of things. It depends on someone's home life and someone's outside of home life, right? If we're talking about that good Cancerian energy, because why would we talk about anything else? I'm gonna try to behave as well. We'll see how well I do. Like a home that's a safe space, right? So, and it feels more like returning home than leaving the house, but it could go either way. It's like if you're returning home, there are certain things that you like leave at the door, right? You can leave the stresses, you can leave any of the performance, I guess, or responsibility of the outside world. It's almost like it's very like you come in, you walk into the home, you take off your hat, you put your hat and your coat on the coat rack, and you like take off your shoes, and like as you are changing from like your outside clothes to your in home clothes, you're also sort of like stripping all of the armor that you have to wear, like taking off the mask and just like getting comfortable. And so that's what like Cancer in the space of Temperance feels like. But you could also sort of like flip that process, right? As you are like, if there are any rituals, and ritual is a stretch. Almost. See, I'm trying to focus. Okay. If there's anything that you do to prepare for the day ahead, right? So for some people, maybe they have like affirmations on sticky notes, or like there's some kind of yoga, meditation, like a playlist, something that you do to like prepare yourself for the day that you're about to have, to prepare yourself to like enter the world and to leave that sort of safe space. And again, it's almost like the degree of tempering that is required is correlated to sort of like the different environments that someone is in, right? Because if your home life isn't necessarily any less chaotic than like everything you do outside the home, then it's not going to be, you know what I mean? But, or vice versa, like if you have a peaceful home life and you've curated a peaceful outside of home life, then again, it's not necessarily as extreme. And I guess you could call it armor. Like it has the energy of armor, but I feel like calling it armor is a little extreme, but it isn't. Temperance and Cancer is the armor that we put it on and take off. The armor we put on to enter the real world, and the armor that we take off when we come back to our safe space. Cool. All right. I'm not looking before and after the significators, but I still wanted to shuffle it just to, anything else to say of intentions? How I'm thinking about doing this is almost sort of splitting these down the middle. So basically, to have one pillar, maybe like 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, and 6 be one deck, and then 3, 5, 7, and 8 be the other. The rut, I would 8 of Swords. Interesting. The rut, I would use the 8-bit Fantasy Tarot for. The good tarot would obviously be that next thing. Does not rambling like affect my ability to like form coherent thoughts? I mean, to be fair, it is like 2 something in the morning, I'm sure. I don't think it's 3 yet. It could be. Yeah, I forget how, maybe it was a thumbnail or something. I saw these cards. I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear the thunder? Completely forgot I had this deck. I also have the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards on the table. I had to pull them to get to the good tarot. I don't necessarily know if I'll use it. Actually, I will. I'll use the standstill as another significator. So the significators are going to be the rooftop, the standstill, and the spiritual realm. I'm trying to think if there's another significator in the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards I would want to use. I think like I could do wind, but I don't think I will. I think I'll just use those 3. Am I going to pull off the top? Also, as I was thinking about doing this, I kind of want more than just one card for the first position, but I'm going to stick to the formula. That's what we're going to do. We're going to stick to the formula. Who is that? As I say formula, I hear, is it a Rumula or a Runmila? I want want to say Arunmila, but I could be wrong. The Orisha of wisdom, knowledge, prophecy, and fate. He is the divine messenger who created the complex Ifa system of divination and witnesses the destiny of all souls. The custodian of Ifa. Okay. My knowledge of the Orishas is very, 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 very fragmented and not complete. I wouldn't say not even remotely. Um, but I guess they're fair game. My conscious, I've encountered them at some point, and so it's just floating. It's a part of my personal library that sort of high priestessy type energy has to like try to show me things. You know what I mean? Right? Like puzzle pieces, building blocks, using things that I am vaguely aware of, from like things that I'm vaguely aware of to things that I'm kind of familiar with, to paint a picture, right? Which is, it's, that's so interesting that we'll talk about it. Why not? I'm trying not to necessarily ramble too much, trying to be focused. But it is interesting that the energy of Arun Mila, and if I butcher the words, the names, their name, I'm so sorry. But I can't get sort of stuck on it either, right? Um, it's interesting that Arun Mila comes out today because we just saw the Geomancer. And when in Geomancy came into my awareness, there was almost like a vision that accompanied it. And the Geomancer just came out. We saw the Geomancer with that Two of Swords, Geomancer, the Magician, and the King of Cups. We saw from the Mirror Visions yesterday. But there, like when I was first getting into that geomancy, there was not a vision, just like an image that popped into my mind, and I feel like a Runmila actually would fit that in a lot of ways, in more ways actually than I would have originally thought. And so it's just interesting, I guess. That was another something that came across my awareness. I was interested in it. I kind of did a little bit. I was going to potentially do a deeper dive. It didn't happen. Life continued and it just dropped out of my awareness until it came back yesterday. Anyway, okay. So, the Rattle, the Crow, and the Smoking Mirror, 43, 13, 47 is the bottom three cards in the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. Again, I'm looking for the Standstill. Because it holds the image of the archway. I could see, no. I was going to say I could use like a soul retrieval as another significator. I think I'll do the Holy Mountain because this feels appropriate. We'll do the Holy Mountain and the Standstill as two significators here. There's the Standstill. And then we'll do, again, rooftops and spiritual plane, spiritual realm here. Is that no social media? Okay, I was like, is that spiritual realm at the cut? Nah, it's social media. Maybe you can kind of tell that the overhead light isn't on. I thought this would be cooking me a little bit more. So far I'm feeling fairly cool. And as I say that, my internal body temperature begins to rise. Cool. We have the laundromat, local cleaning area, necessary routine, the lighthouse, beacon of safety, illuminating paths, and again, social media, digital networking, global interactions. Maybe emphasis on the global part of global interactions. Necessary routine, local cleaning area, beacon of safety, illuminating paths, digital networking, and global interactions. Okay, sorry. All right, brain. We're focused today. We're locked in. More so than usual. Let's say that. More so than usual. We're a little bit more focused. Spiritual realm, dimensions of the divine cosmic energy unveiled. For some reason, deluge started ringing in my brain after I read Dimensions of the Divine. And that's like a flood, right? I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be like a flood, but heavy rains. Deluge refers to a severe flood, a torrential downpour, or an overwhelming, unmanageable amount of something, such as messages, requests, or tasks. The term traces its roots to Latin meaning to wash away, and is frequently used both literally to describe heavy weather and metaphorically to describe being swamped. Okay, so we got a deluge of something from the spiritual realm, and then the energy of Arunmila. Cool. Maybe this is why I'm locking in, because it'd be easy to just. I'm pretty sure it started raining outside. I can hear it. Yeah, and then it picks up. It's raining outside, and my little brother just went out. Anyway, it's fine. Now I'm looking for rooftops. Rooftop right here. It's interesting that it's next to the alleyway because the alleyway was pinging me a little bit, but I decided not to take it. Hidden pathway, shortcuts revealed. Maybe I should have taken it. I mean, it came out right next to the rooftop. Okay, I wasn't going to do this. I will, because it's just significators, but I will let you know. So rooftop came out in between car and alleyway. Car, urban explorer, driving your own path. Alleyway, hidden pathway, shortcut revealed. Driving your own path and a hidden pathway. Especially with the Holy Mountain. I didn't, we're not using many paths, which is interesting because the last time, I think it was the last time I used this deck, the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards, the energy of many paths came out, but I was doing a self read, so it didn't make sense to use many paths as a significator. But many paths are associated with the Holy Mountain, and then we have driving your own path and the hidden pathway here. I'm sorry. It's just like things just grabbing my attention. Rooftop, skyline views, peace above chaos. Let the rain fall down. Didn't I talk about, was that the Hillary Duff song I mentioned last time? I feel like I mentioned a Hillary Duff song that she said it was either her or Madonna. Some pop girly that has a song that people love, but they don't feel that it's really like, it may have been Madonna actually. It's not like the vibe of the song isn't necessarily like concert appropriate to the artist. Okay. So we have the rooftop, the standstill, spiritual realm. What's interesting about this spiritual realm card is this tree here. It's interesting because of the image of the archway. If you will recall from yesterday, maybe you didn't see it. That's fine. Let's see. Let's go to it. No. It's not zooming in today. Kirsty. Hello. Because of the trees, right? I noticed that tree, even like the sparkly whatever. I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. All right. I do need this for this. Actually, it's mine. I wanted to use the one that I posted. I did, as an aside, the more I talk about how I'm supposed to be focused, that's a pretty long rumble. It's still shaking a little bit too. Um, yeah, I did end up making a whole sort of like graphic thing, but it wouldn't let me post it. So then I just did the image. Um, anyway, I wanted to use what I posted. Okay, so I think what I want to do is I want to pull card one and card eight from the bottom of the deck. I'll do two, four, and six from the 8-bit fantasy tarot. I'll do three, five, and seven. One, two, yeah. So one and eight from the bottom, two, four, six from the top of 8-bit fantasy, 357 from the top of the good tarot, and then we will get to the interpreting or the attempt at it. I have already shuffled both of these. I think we'll just go for it. Right? So the foundation, we have the Seven of Pentacles, which is also the rut. And let's do them face now. I'm like, where do I set these? And then for the synergy, we have The star. Now, immediately, I notice how this might be the only star card that I have where she isn't pouring out those waters. Our friend Chino is doing his thing. That's 7, 5, and 3. Okay. So the rut, because it's defined as the rut as the 7 of Pentacles is a very interesting energy because it's almost very like everything that we can do, or all that is within our control, all that is within our earthly power to do, it's like it's being done. I'm gonna need you to stay home. Excuse me, this card reveals the exact nature of the habit or pattern that you are currently breaking. It is the solid ground of the before. The solid ground of the before is very solid. And again, it reads like everything that we can do, we're doing. There's nothing neglected in this situation. Even if there's more that can be done, nothing is neglected. Everything, it's like the conditions are favorable for growth. They may not be optimal for the highest yield, you know what I mean? But like very firmly in the conditions are favorable for growth territory. Now, the synergy, the beautiful, unstoppable new energy, momentum, and direction of your life now that the arch is permanently established, or with the permanent establishment of the arch, is the star. But again, it's a star that doesn't pour out its water. Now, right off the bat, what this gives me is the star isn't pouring out the water because it doesn't need to, and it doesn't need to pour out the water because everything that we are to take care of, we are addressing. If we weren't watering the crop enough, then the star would be pouring out that water to do what we're not doing or to assist us in what we are attempting to do if it needed more, but it doesn't. And it's very much almost one of those because we don't need the star, almost like because we don't need the star to sit in the energy of healing. It can devote more energy, attention, and power to its function of granting wishes, right? If the star represents healing and wishes being granted, since we don't need the healing, it can grant our wishes. It can do the things for us that we can't do for ourselves as we do the things that we are to take care of. So, next we have the rising pillars. I'm like struggling. Oh, I wanted to do this as it was. Gemini did a great job, but both times Gemini, I loved breaking it down with Gemini, but there are like things that I would tweak, but I wasn't going to go into that with Gemini. I was like, I'll just leave this as it is. I know for me, sort of like where those key sort of differences is. And even with this, I was like, As we were talking about it, I was like, this would be great for a spread. But then when Gemini converted it to a spread, I was like, okay, I'm doing it as it is on the community post. And technically, I've already revealed card 8, and it should have been the last one. So I've taken minor liberties, but I will conform to the formula. Okay. So the Rising Pillars, Convergence. These two cards show the forces gathering. Card 2 representing uh, your preparation. I'll just say your. If it resonates for you, then it does. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Card 2 represents your preparation, internal forces, effort, and readiness. Sitting in card 2, we have the Seven of Swords. I've actually been thinking about the Seven of Swords a lot lately, especially as it sits as, for me, the Seven of Swords is a card of birthright, especially in the Wild Unknown Tarot. Basically, it's almost like, let's say that there's like a fund for someone. We can go real low hanging fruit with it. Real low hanging fruit. There's like a fund that someone's parents, grandparents, whoever puts money into for someone when they're born. And when they turn 18, they get to access that money. They get to do whatever they want with it. There's no conditions. Real low hanging fruit. The lowest hanging fruit. No conditions. When they turn 18, they get access to that money. Right? And so if they want to travel, if they want to start a business, if they want to like go to university, whatever they want to do, that money is there for them, but they can't access it until they turn 18. And that's basically the Seven of Swords in how I interpreted it because of the context that it came out in. Basically, year 0 to 18, I'll show you the card. Um, I got the mini deck, so I have another one right here. I don't have to go digging through the other one. I said more focused. I didn't say completely. The Sun was the final card. The Sun and the Nine of Swords being the final card in the pot, and then the Ace of Pentacles right behind it. Okay, it's fine. So in the Seven of Swords, there are 6 swords hanging up on the wall, or 6 swords that are floating, visible, and the seventh sword is under a fox. And basically, within that metaphor, and interesting. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It's just like so much. It's so okay. I know I'm making a lot of noises. It's fine. We're focusing. After this, I'm probably gonna forget that I even saw that. It's fine. The Seven of Swords is in between the Moon and the Hermit. Right now, for the next few weeks, we're finishing in tropical astrology. The North Node is finishing its transit in Pisces, and the South Node is finishing its transit in Virgo. They're going to shift into North Node Aquarius, South Node Leo. On, I believe, the first day of the dream spell calendar, right? Mayan New Year. Again, approximate knowledge of a few things. I was exposed to it in the past. It's like the traditional Mayan calendar is technically different from the dream spell. The dream spell is like, is it Arguelles or something like that? Maybe Jose. I don't remember. I feel like that's actually his name. I'm not just, you know what I mean? Um, this isn't that important. But there is a difference. So within the community of people, Jose Arguelles, Or it's, I guess, with the double L. I'm pretty sure this is the guy. Would it be like Argeus? Co-founder along with someone else of the Planet Art Network and the Foundation for the Law of Time. He was the Dream Spell, right? What is he known for? 1987 harmonic convergence. For inventing, with the assistance of his wife, the perpetual dream spell calendar in 1990. Yeah, his name is actually Jose. This is him. Jose Arguelles. Arguelles. I know it's two L's, so there you go. It focused. There's Jose. I think it said he passed in 2011, which is kind of because 2012 was the whole 2012 thing. Anyway, there are some differences between the traditional and the dream spell. It's fine. It's beyond the scope of this. But I'm pretty sure July 25th. I'm pretty sure the calendar ends on the 24th. The 25th is the day out of time, and then the 26th is the start of the new year. And on the 26th, I think last time I looked, that's when the North Node is going to shift into Aquarius and the South Node is going to shift into Leo. But anyway, to see the Seven of Swords between the major arcana representatives of Pisces and Virgo is very interesting. So these six swords, you could say every 3 years, right? Because 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 12, 13 to 15, 16 to 18, right? Then after we turn 18, we're given access to the seventh sword, right? And the lowest hanging fruit, there are no conditions. When you reach an age of maturity, you get to use that however you want. So that's partially why it is my card of birthright, but it's not something that we're necessarily given. And the lowest hanging fruit, it's unconventional, but the energy of it, at least from my vantage point viewpoint, which could be warped, there are conditions. And the conditions aren't necessarily like extreme. It's just like, for example, let's say that before you get access to the money, you have to come up with a plan. And the plan could be anything, but the plan just makes sure that the money goes to whatever it's supposed to go to. You can write in the plan that you want all of the money to just have however you want it. And since it's part of the plan, it would be acknowledged, right? Conditions aside, that's why the Seven of Swords is card of birthright, but it's one that we kind of sort of mature into, right? So the energy of maturing into a birthright, especially when we are doing everything that we need to do, everything that we have to take care of, we are taken care of. There's a maturity here that makes the bestowment or the revelation of that birthright even more natural and a part of the progression. Now, as I've been thinking about the Seven of Swords lately, the Five of Swords came out recently, and it's almost like echoes of, there's something I'm noticing. I've been noticing, and I'm like, I'm not necessarily quite sure what this means. Because it's one thing to kind of sort of like read it and to like let the metaphor of it sort of just stand. And it's another thing to like read it as something that is like approaching, or to read it as something that is like in the field. It's like it's one thing to do that and to like let the metaphor sort of stand, or to even do low hanging fruit, right? And it's another thing when it feels like the energy is like actually approaching, because it's like, how is it going to manifest? You know what I mean? Anyway, the Five of Swords is I almost want to say a terror, but in a neutral way. The Five of Swords is, it's un It's a very strong energy that is very difficult to defeat. And without it, it can be very easy to not necessarily know the limits of it, especially if someone is new to it. Anyway, with the Five of Swords, or with the Seven of Swords, it's because the Seven of Swords is carrying five swords. So you could say that someone is leaving doubt, indecision, and things that keep them stuck in the past, and they're walking away with these five swords, like empowered to a degree and to a level that is just like they're uneffable. And also, the lore of the Seven of Swords is like this is like a battle camp, right? There's like an army back here, and the person is taking part of their arsenal. And with the Five of Swords, like it's not a fight because it's not even a competition type energy. So it also plays into it like it wouldn't even be a fight anyway. Now, also because of the image, you could say the Seven of Swords is that moment where someone is like stepping into, I guess it depends on how you feel it and how you read it, right? As a flat image, it is kind of like it's that moment where someone is stepping into themselves more fully, which is interesting because it's like someone, you, if it resonates for you, right? Your preparation, part of your preparation was stepping into your birthright or is stepping into your birthright. And again, there's a certain amount of, or a certain flavor of inaction that is being left behind with the Two of Swords. And it's not necessarily um, reckless. I was like, what's not deliberate? It's not necessarily reckless. There can still be an energy of like deliberation and discernment and discrimination, but discrimination kind of in the sense of like um, with an energy of like appropriateness, right? If something is a three sword job, you don't show up with 13, you show up with three, or at the very least, maybe four, three, maybe four, right? If something is a one sword job, you don't show up with 10. Because again, with the Five of Swords, it can be really easy to go overboard. With someone who is new to something, there's almost an expectation that that is liable to happen because of a period of learning and because of a period of self-discovery. It's also almost giving um, remnants of someone's past life, because the energy of the keystone spread is that things will forever be changed, things will forever be different, but it is a person within their continuous experience that is on this journey, right? And so it can also be like there's an understanding that there are remnants of the past. And while someone is new to something, there may be, for example, if someone comes into like major success and there were a lot of naysayers along the way, a lot of people that like talked down to them or told them that their ideas were dumb or whatever, it's like it's not necessarily the point to go and flex on the haters, but it's understandable. It's not like there's an allowance for something like that to happen, right? It's not necessarily desired, but it's not going to completely ruin something either, especially within limits. You know what I mean? Like if you do a little flex tour after things change, it's understandable. And that would be an energy of like remnants of the past, right? You just go and you flex a little bit and then you more fully focus on what's coming next. There's an allowance for it. And it feels like part of that allowance is also baked into that Seven of Swords energy. Card 3 represents divine collaboration, external timing, unexpected luck, and synchronization. And that is coming with. I put these face down, by the way. I put these face down. It's coming with temptation. LOLOLOL. Devil energy. It's coming with temptation. Again, I feel like that's like literally what I was just talking about. Um, so it does kind of play into a pitfall of the Seven of Swords. It's like it plays to the shadow of the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords energies. The Seven of Swords that can be a little shady, manipulative, maybe cunning, devious, maybe deceptive a little. The Five of Swords, again, where it can do like way too much. It can go overboard to the point where it's like an energy of Pyrrhic victories, right? Like you win, but at what cost, right? If you go on a flex tour that is so whatever that it takes you out of alignment with everything. Like, let's say, for example, it's a new job, right? It's a new job, low hanging fruit. And for whatever reason, you had a lot of naysayers, right? And you're flexing your new job. You're like going off the whatever. You are really letting the haters have it. But then, like, you do a little too much, you go a little too far. Someone that you're going to be working with sees it and it's a turnoff, and then they decide that they're not going to proceed forward with you. And so that, again, like there's a little bit of an allowance, but if you take it too far, it can jeopardize things because you can, again, it's an energy of your life forever being changed, but we can always go back to how we used to be, right? So in that way, it's almost very, you can take the person out of wherever, but you can't take wherever out of the person type energy. Again, the star isn't pouring out any water. So I take it as it resonates. I don't have to overly interpret it. Take it as it resonates. Because the star isn't pouring out any water, it reads like there's not like extra healing that needs to be done. So again, it feels like it falls within the allowance of the like newly crossing a threshold, right? So for example, if we go back to where temperance is Cancer, right? Like let's say you are fresh in, right? As soon as you walk in the door, you like angrily take off your hat and you like rip your coat off and you like kind of throw them there. But then as you sort of like as you're taking more off, as the home vibes, that good Cancerian energy is settling in, you like start to de-stress and the things start to de-escalate and then you calm down, right? It's like depending on how the day was, it's fine if that some of it like comes into the house, but sort of like at that doorway. And then once you like fully step into it, everything is cool, calm, collected, de-escalated. Now we can, there can be peace, right? And then whatever, again. I think there's also been a siren like energy, but the siren is whatever's next. Theoretically, it would be the star energy, not theoretically. It would be the star energy. The energy on the other side of the portal is kind of sort of like pulling us and drawing us towards it as we are navigating. It's like as we are aligning towards it, it's also like pulling towards us. And if we're all right, if we've left everything that we needed to at the door, we can just walk right to it, right? Um, but This temptation almost, it can be that, but it can also be very like the all-knowing aspect of the divine that already knows, that knows you better than you know yourself. It's almost like if there's a friend that you have that really knows you, that you can trust, if they're like, hey, like there's this thing I want you to check out, I know you're gonna love it, and you can trust this friend. It's almost like that kind of energy. Like that's the temptation. It's leading you to the thing that like you're gonna love, like that perfect whatever. Almost very Tom and Jerry old cartoon. Someone gets like a whiff of apple pie on a windowsill, and they're like floating. Like this is the little wispy apple pie smell, and they're like floating in the air towards the apple pie type energy. Anyway, what else is on this temptation card? We got money. We got this juicy fruit. We got. I see some wings on here. Is this a lady with wings? There's a cup. Some fruit up in the tree. Cool. The threshold, cards 4 and 5, liminality. Card 4 is what must be left behind, the final release as you step off the pillar. And that is strength. Interesting that it's strength. Also, this is where the south node is going to be. This is Aquarius Leo. 5, 6, 7, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is the third decan of Aquarius. We enter North Node Aquarius in the third decan because the nodes progress retrograde. So it starts at the end and then it goes to the beginning. This is the end, the beginning. This is the beginning, the first third. So roughly the first 6 months, approximate knowledge. Nodal transit is approximately 18 months long. So if you break it down into decades, 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. Apparently, we're breaking down 18 today. We broke 18 down 6 times with the 6 swords, and now we're breaking it down 3 times with the decans. So for the first 6 months, so I guess from July to like Feb ish, December. I don't know. How many months am I? For the, let's say the next like 6 to 8 months. Um, there's this, maybe that's this period of allowance, right? Where it's less frowned upon because someone is new to something. But with this thing for us to let go, right? What is to be left behind, the final release as you step off of the pillar? This is the entirety of that nodal transit because it's like that pure Leo energy, right? So from what would that be? Now to roughly the top of 2028, very approximately. I don't have my iPad to like, I don't even know if my iPad is doing what it used to do, but I'm focusing today. I'm not going to let that. Um, yeah, this is the entirety of that nodal transit with the South Node in Leo, which is interesting for the energy of a flex tour, right? Because Leo can be the showman, very like flashy, very presenty, very like, you know, people are going to see. I almost want to say, too, that there's an element of maybe proving or an element of trying that you, if this resonates for you, it's like you'll have to be very cognizant of that. And it feels like an entire sort of like realm of things, right? It encapsulates overcompensating and like under like imposter syndrome, under representing oneself or over representing oneself because, and again, it's something that will happen naturally, where it's like you don't have to try to be whatever because you are the thing, right? So you don't have to overcompensate. And again, it feels like there's a grace period. And maybe it's one of those things too that, like, just being aware of it when and as things change, it may help you spot all of the different ways that you are being validated, that your journey is being validated, and that, like, all the ways in which you are enough, right? So it's almost like when you, maybe it would be easier to start becoming or to just be rather than to try to be or seem to be when you can identify those things as well, right? Like, let's say that there was something that was like asked of you that seemed like a really tall ask, but you deliver and you do it to the point where people are impressed. And then it's like if you're present, you get to have that moment of like I did that. I had the capability of doing that. And I didn't have to, like, it was within me. And maybe there are things that you have to do, like you tap into your resources or whatever, but that doesn't take away from the fact that like you were able to do it, right? So that's almost one of those, it can be, I don't want to say it's supposed to be, it can be validating. That's your real life counter argument to a potential argument that you have with yourself in your mind or in your heart. Well, you can say in the mind, because even if it's in the heart, it's still in the mind at that point. You know what I mean? The mind almost encapsulating both the thoughts and the feelings. Anyway, and I feel like there's also maybe an element of trust. And that's also a part of it. Maybe like you trusting yourself. Because if we look at the image of the lady and the lion, here, the lion is smiling. It's like she's petting it, right? But it's almost like, let's say, when the lion was younger, more immature, or when it gets triggered, when it's animal instincts kicking in, and it's like, I'm the king of the jungle. Then there's a lot of like wrangling that has to be done, but it's like you don't want for that dynamic to always be tense. And so it's like, for as the lion matures and grows, then the lady has to give the lion the opportunity to prove that it has matured and grown, because at the same time, it's like if the lady is this crutch that's always there, then the lion will continue to use the lady as a crutch. And so there's like parts of its maturation that it may not necessarily live into fully, because it knows that that lady is going to be there to, like, hold it down. But again, it's just like it's not that it's not sustainable. It's just kind of like undesirable and to some degree not necessary. And also, it can be counterproductive because there may be cases, times, scenarios, and situations where the lion needs to be a lion, where it needs to be more than an oversized house cat. And even house cats, they're just smaller. Speaking of terrors, with that Five of Swords energy. Anyway, It's like there are going to be times where the lion needs to be a lion, and so it has to be trusted to be a lion. If you have a lady that's too sort of like jumpy, then it can interfere with things, right? Because there can be times where it is for someone to be heard, to take a stand, and to be sort of resolute, right? Let's say there's something that you see that no one else sees, and you know the importance of the thing that you see, and it is for you to stand your ground. And it can be one of those like, that's the reason why you are in the room. Not everything can be overlooked necessarily. Right. Like if something would lead to a catastrophic failure, then that's when you would speak up, basically. So on the other side of that, um, card 5, we have the active step, the decision or bold action you must take to cross the line. Together, these cards define the breathless moment before the lock. And on the side of the good tarot, we have the 8 of Earth. Now we have this instrument here. I mean, it would be easy to call it a cello, right? I'm assuming it's a cello, and not just because it's huge, but it's also on the ground. 2, 4, 6, 8. All 8 of the pentacles are growing out of this cello tree, and then there's like a little fairy folk or a little fae folk. It's got wings, I think. And then is that something right there? It's interesting that the 8 of Pentacles is here. This is the bold action that you need to take. Your energy has switched sides. Or this is a point of transition. Now, these two together represent liminality. This threshold represents liminality, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised to see this here. If I'm being like real honest, as I pulled this, there was this assumption that your energy would be coming from the 8-bit fantasy tarot, and that some kind of divine next unknown energy would be coming from the good tarot. But this feels like it's the continuation from the 7 of Pentacles, but it's over here now. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, because that's literally coming off that energy of like when the lion needs to be a lion. And maybe that's something for us to be mindful and aware of as well. This is also where we are now. The 8 of Pentacles is the first decan of Virgo. That's where the South Node is now. Um, I had a thought. Come on, brain. Where did it go? Oh. It was coming off of that energy of like leniency, the expect. Yeah. This is why. I shouldn't be surprised to see this here. I shouldn't be surprised to see this here because this is so in the metaphor that we used earlier. This would be this is the energy of you in your role, right? Whatever you do that gives you the ability to go on that flex tour here, right? Like I got a like the new job that you get, right? This is you in that function. So I shouldn't have been surprised to see your energy sort of like switch sides. I don't know why I thought maybe there's an assumption. That's another thing. This is a space to challenge assumptions. That's the other thing. Um, it's that's where we're going. As you let the lion be a lion, and as you for the first 6 months, and I guess that's kind of appropriate, especially for like a job, right? It takes some time to like get to learn your role, both in like what your job is, what your duties are, how it fits into everything. There's a period of acclimation, and then there's when like you really step into stuff. Um, it may not necessarily be what you think it would be, or whatever you might think now or have thought. Because it honestly feels like by the time you step off of that pillar, even though it's not necessarily a sequential thing, it is kind of happening all at once at the same time too. It's just like I feel like if you're present, you'll be fine. Like you'll notice, you won't miss it. I almost want to read deeper into that 8 of Earth, but I don't think I will. Next, we have the Nexus and the Keystone. This is the Sacred Lock. Card 6, the Nexus. This is the focal point. It identifies the unexpected event, person, or golden opportunity that is meeting you at your highest point of readiness. And this is represented by the Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So you get 7, 8, 10. Wait, this is why 6 is afraid of 7 because 7, 8, 9. There's no 9. You went from, you're right, 7, 8, 9. Anyway, 10 of Pentacles. Also, 10 of Pentacles is a card of legacy. It's a card of good Capricornian energy. Just like we got that good Cancerian energy for some reason sitting in Temperance. This is that good Capricornian energy. Also, you have Capricorn down here with Temptation. We also have the Star up here. So I don't have to force things. I really don't. But I wouldn't be surprised if no, because we got the Star. A Wands card. The 6 of Wands, maybe? Because it would be in Leo. Right? Because we got Major Arcana Aquarius and then we got the 7 of Swords. We got Major Arcana Capricorn. No, 10 of Pentacles is Virgo. I'll take it back. I'll take it back. I mean, it's good Capricornian energy, the 10 of Pentacles, because good Capricornian energy. I mean, I guess the 10 of Pentacles lives it. Capricorn is the foundation and the plan for it. 10 of Pentacles is the result of good Capricornian energy. It's something that's built to last. So there's also an energy of like living out an intention here, which not surprising because The star energy can devote more of its energy to fulfilling wishes because it doesn't need to heal. Now, this Ten of Pentacles is bringing the. I can't remember if there's an arch there too. I don't think so. It brings the image of the Ten of Pentacles in the. Actually, in a few decks. I think in that one deck that like everybody and their mom. I feel like I don't see it as much anymore. Every now and then I do, but like everybody used to use it. It's the one where the high priest is like her eyes are closed, but she's like her eyelids are painted as like eyeballs. You know what I mean? This is the good tarot, the light seers tarot. I think it's the light seers tarot. I think the Ten of Pentacles and the light seers tarot also has that like Kabbalah tree of life. Um, but it's giving me the dynasty in the Spirit Keepers tarot, but specifically the flower that we see in the void. Again, because we have you blossoming here, I'm not surprised to see that energy. The focal point is the void. And I guess the unexpected event that meets you at your highest point of readiness is that it's not empty. But again, like this is the reason why it's so important that the lion is allowed to be a lion. Because it's like if the lion isn't allowed to be a lion, if the lady, for whatever reason, if the lion isn't lioning for whatever reason, maybe the lion isn't mature enough to, maybe it's like once the lion engages its animal instinct, it's almost very like it stops it loses its ability to differentiate between prey and partners, right? Like the lion goes hunting, and while it's in hunting mode, it sees the lady as prey rather than as its friend or whatever. And so if it can't be trusted, then it can't be trusted. But let me read it as it is and not as it could be, because well, it's still unfolding. So maybe we'll just say a word of caution. Uh, a word probably unnecessary, but a word of caution nonetheless. Um, there's something that comes about because the lion is allowed to be a lion. And because the lion is allowed to be the lion in lions, because the lion is lioning, which is interesting because the lion is in the archetypes, and we see the lion asleep in the awakener. Anyway, it's fine. Um, because the lion is allowed to be a lion, and because the lion is lioning, there's something in the void that comes to be. And it's probably because the thing in the void comes to be like that's part of what changes everything forever. Because the energy of the keystone, it's so significant you can't go back. Once the arch is complete, it's nearly indestructible. Just like that Five of Swords, that the Seven of Swords steps away from indecision and into. Now, on the other side of that, we have the Keystone placed immediately adjacent to card 6. This card reveals the specific action or mindset shift that clicks everything together. It's the act of luck that prevents you from sliding back. This is the moment of co creation. And that moment of co creation is the Ace of Air. And we see a Pegasus. Okay. Also, this was the point. This was the point of like the rooftop into the spiritual realm, even the holy mountain. I guess going off of that last slide, the ace of air can most definitely pass through that portal. It can fly. It's not grounded. Right? The portal that we see, yeah, with the spiritual realm, even the tree that's there. This one, right? Because if we were to look at it, the labyrinth is on the ground, but the portal is like all the way up in the air. This winged horse could definitely fly up and into that portal. Now, the ace of air, ace of spades, ace of swords has been carrying an interesting energy since roughly maybe April, top of April, either the bottom of March or the top of April. It's when I was visiting family. We saw the ace of spades, the 10 of spades, and then the king of swords energy. Now, instead of it being the 10 of swords or the 10 of air, you have the 10 of pentacles, which is like tangible. It's not like theoretical whatever. It's like it's real life. It's lived, it's experienced, it is felt. And because it's real, lived, experienced, and felt, there's, I mean, even if it were air, there would be impact. But since it's material, you could say it's part of a greater picture. Um, this card reveals the specific action mindset shift that clicks everything together. It is the active lock that prevents you from sliding back. This is the moment of co creation. And again, it feels like this is this moment where everything clicks. It's when you have the ability, again, to make it through that portal. That's what I was going to do. Oh, it's dark. Hey, I can still see. Oh, can I see? Can I see? Let's see. No. Wait, is this even the right drawer? I don't think it is. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. Hold up. I'm trying to show you. Um, in the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Yep. It's so funny. Like in the second drawer, I saw this. You can't see it. You still can't see it. There you go. The barcode. I knew that that's what that looked like. This was in the third drawer. In the second drawer, I saw that, and it was actually the Mirror Truth Lenormand, which is interesting because Mirror Visions is what we saw that Geomancer in. Um, Also, because of the energy of Arunmila, it's almost like because specifically the energy of Arunmila came forward, and with this being like the 10 of pentacles and not the 10 of, like, it's not an idea. There's an element of like fruition here. It's earthly. It does, it has a weight that an idea, a theory, it has a weight to it. It's fine. I'm gonna look not necessarily before and after, but I'm looking for the maze. I don't think I need the rider. I think I'm just looking for the maze. And I'm pretty sure it can't be the maze. It has to be the rider. Hey, look, there's the fox. A foxy man. And it's the man with like all his clothes on, too. There's like the sexy man. It's interesting that the foxy one is the one that is that one. um, where is it? Here's the maze. Number 43. We saw 43, didn't we? 43, 13, 47. What was 43? I'm pretty sure it was 43, 14. Anyway, so here's the maze, right? So in the picture, hold on, let me pull the other card too. I'm looking for the rider. I want to say you can see it, but you may not be able to. No, you can't. For some reason, I thought you could. It might actually be in the Good Tarot. I'm gonna have to look. All the cards have been revealed. Um, I think it is actually in the Good Tarot because I feel like you see a horse in the air. I feel like the image is in my mind. Like you see the horse up in the air. There's a pole, like it broke off of a carousel, but um, like you can see the maze, the hedge maze, the labyrinth, which is low key kind of interesting. The energy of Labyrinth has been, I've never seen the movie, but the energy of Labyrinth is something that is popping up. I'm not watching the current season of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars season 12 question mark because no, 11 was 10 all winners. I want to say 7 was all winners and that can't be the case. I mean it could have been. Anyway, they had the night of 1,000 David Bowies and Kennedy Davenport. I'm glad somebody else commented on the wig because I was like, that looks like Bob's old press first wig. It's fine. It's like red and yellow. It's fine. Um, Kennedy Davenport did David Bowie in Labyrinth as the David Bowie that they picked, and then I saw literally on Instagram or YouTube, I was scrolling reels and shorts. There was some girl that had done, I think it was on Instagram. I think it was a short on Instagram. There was some girl that had done a skit where, again, I've never seen the movie Labyrinth. I have a very vague idea of what happens or some part of the plot because I had a conversation with somebody years ago, the same person that I used to talk Mayan Dream Cell with. I feel like it is Mercury retrograde. I feel like especially every time Mercury retrograde come through, I'm like, maybe I mean, I feel like I could have anything could have happened for things to be different. You know what I mean? But every now and then, I'm like, shout out to Mimi Loki. I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, it's not this horse either. See, that is the carousel pole, but I don't. We don't see. Um, yeah, she told me a little bit about the movie. I've never seen it, but anyway, I saw a short of somebody that was like, "There's a no return policy." She was like the guy from Labyrinth, and she was just like, "Yeah, there's a no return policy." So, anyway, it's interesting that Labyrinth has come up. It's also interesting, I guess, for there not to be more bulls, question mark? Because I mean it is almost giving, maybe it's different. Daedalus created the labyrinth. The Minotaur was put in the labyrinth, but it's almost energetically like something about this is the inspiration behind Daedalus's labyrinth. That's why there's no Minotaur here. I was going to say it's interesting that there's no Minotaur here. Like, for as much labyrinth sort of imagery, excuse me, as much labyrinth energy has been like coming out, there's no Minotaur, there's no bull. Have I even seen the Five of Swords? And maybe I did. It's fine. Which is almost giving me like um maybe that plays into the energy of strength. One second. There's an element of genius. The same is true in another show. There's like a castle that's built in a show, but that castle is modeled off of another castle, right? So there's the genius of Daedalus that crafted the labyrinth and whoever built the castle that built that castle. But there's an actual inspiration behind the genius. And this taps into the inspiration behind the genius. Maybe it's because I keep saying genius. I'm like, why is like, anyway, it's fine. We're focused, more focused, more locked in. I really felt, maybe it's just because I hold it that way. Maybe it's just because I've held it that way in the past. I guess so. The other horse I found is a unicorn, and it's the Seven of Fire. Now, it is interesting. The reason why the Seven of Wands, there's a specific, there was a context. The context around when the Seven of Swords came to mean birthright. For me, it was the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Wands in the Wand Unknown Tarot. And so for the Seven of Fire to now be here with this Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, but the Seven of Fire is here in this deck. And the other two are here. So again, it's more than just the point that you are reaching. There's also what you do beyond. And maybe because Arunmila, almost like because Arunmila, because the energy, because the name Arunmila popped into my mind. I'm not gonna say the energy of, I'll say it. Why not? Because the energy of Arunmila sort of like steps forward because of this Ten of Pentacles. It's something about what you do, what you accomplish on the other side of this arch, on the other side of this transition and transformation that is somewhat faded. It's the energy of something that's faded at the very least. And who am I? Yeah, even temptation had wings on it. Well, here's these two. I think I just held it like this, honestly. I guess there isn't a card. Or I don't even have to. I looked for that just because, right? The horse. Your ace of air energy could definitely, it can fly over. You even see birds. You see birds around the gazebo, whatever thing. You got this whole flying horse. um, is there more to this ace of air? What was that? The lock? Maybe that's the lock. This is the moment of co creation, the active lock that prevents you from sliding back. The keystone. So I guess in a way, it's like you getting your wishes fulfilled is the fulfillment of the wish slash wishes of some other slash others. All right. Oh, 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 it's magic. You know. He was going to work, lol. I'm like, where's he going this late? He's working late, and he's not a singer. I mean, he does a lot of singing. He sings oldies. Oldies. I don't know why he's on the oldies. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. He's kind of always. I mean, there's. It's fine. It's not about that. We're focused. We're trying to lock in here. Um. Yeah. Obviously, it feels like there's an element to that ace of air that I'm. There's an element to this that can't be seen. There's an element to this that I am not seeing. I'm not going to say it can't be seen. There's an element that I'm not seeing here. Again, for the conditions to have been replicated for when the Seven of Swords came to mean birthright for me, Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands. It feels like there's something to. I wouldn't know. And I feel like you may not necessarily know either. Like you wouldn't necessarily know. The keystone, an element of the keystone spread is that there are many things that are aligning. You and everything that you've accomplished and what you're being called to or for, I think that's another reason why it's going to be really important for the lion to be lioning, because there isn't necessarily a clear indication of a moment that is the moment, if that makes sense. Right? Like low hanging fruit aside, I mean, even if you were to take the low hanging fruit into account, like if we use that low hanging fruit scenario of um, a job, right? There's something like critical that you notice, and it's important for you to speak up, whatever. But it's almost like it isn't necessarily a super critical project. It isn't necessarily something that anyone brings to your attention. It isn't necessarily anything. And again, because where this happens is the void, it's like you're just doing your thing and you happen to be instrumental maybe in something very, 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 again, it's like you getting your wishes fulfilled also fulfills the wishes of many others type energy. I'll just say it as it is. And you can take it as a resonate. How about that? You getting your wish fulfilled fulfills the wish of many others. But in what way it fulfills that wish, it's not necessarily here. And I feel like it's not here for a reason, because then we would be looking for conditions, we would be looking for something, we would almost be trying to discern or choose the moment to show up. And because of strength being becoming, it's like you're coming to this, you're approaching an energy where you always show up. Almost like if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, and you'll always be ready because you are who you are. Also, interesting how much this mentioned readiness. Anyway, that's what we got. I feel like it's been less than 2 hours. An hour 41. Goodness. I wish I could. So every now and then I'm like, man, I wish I could get through something in 10 minutes. I wish I could be that concise. You know what I mean? It's fine. There's something out there for all of us. I'm not a. Maybe I could push myself. I mean, y'all. I mean, a lot of y'all may not remember, but there was this thing. I think I actually did it maybe one time when I was like, I'm gonna do a 15 or 20-minute reading, and I'm just gonna end the video at 15 or 20 minutes. It doesn't matter if I'm in the middle of saying something. It don't matter if I finished it or not. I'm just gonna end it, and I did. But also at the same time, like my belief is that if that's the vibe, if that's the energy, you're not gonna miss anything vital. You know what I mean? If there was a point to me doing it at all, you're not gonna miss anything by me doing whatever shenanigan I'm on for that video. You know what I mean? And also, too, sometimes there's a benefit in not almost here, because again, it's almost like we could get caught up in looking for a particular moment or something like that, and maybe we're sort of here to kind of bring that point home, because it doesn't necessarily have to be the moment that we're intentionally letting the lion in a way where it's like roaring and doing whatever, right? When we think of like let the lion, maybe we're thinking of like it hunting in the savannah and it doing whatever, but a real life lion is always lioning. And sometimes you see a lion being that big cat. And maybe somebody needed to see the lion as a big cat and not the king of the jungle, ferocious, whatever, to have whatever moment they needed to have. We never know, right? And it, again, sometimes it's those moments that we may not even remember that we may think of as kind of insignificant because it's the mundane ones, sometimes. Anyway, I don't know. If you watch this, I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, it's fine. What locks this in? So I guess there isn't a timeline to it necessarily per se, but there were certain time frames presented. excuse me, right? The time frames being we saw the Eight of Pentacles, which is the first decan of Virgo, which is now. South Node, first decan of Virgo. We saw the Seven of Swords, which is the third decan of Aquarius, which is where the North Node is shifting to. We saw Strength, which if it's Leo, it's where the South Node is shifting, like the entire South Node in Leo. So from now until like early 2028, roughly, that's where we're like letting the lion. Um, and then from now to like 2027, roughly, is us sort of stepping into a thing and being in that time of adjustment, right? And again, there's a lenience in that because we're human, right? Where we, um, and the inspiration behind it, there is an inspiration behind that, obviously. There's something that came to my mind where I was like, again, the entire library of experiences, some I've forgotten about. It's fair game to help paint a picture to get me to see whatever. Right. Anyway. So basically, where I guess the inspiration behind the genius is strong. The inspiration for that, the inspiration behind that specific interpretation for me is there's this audiobook series that I love that comes out with a new book number 13 this year. I'm so excited. And honestly, it's like the story, book 12, it's almost like if book 12 would have left off, it could have been complete. And one of those, the conclusion lives within the reader or the listener. But since it's continuing, I'm like, where is this going? You know what I mean? Anyway, there's a person that came into power, significant power, mythical. There's a person that came into mythical levels of power. And he was told there's a whole community of people who have attained mythical levels of power. And their thinking is like, as a person who was newly to this, you get one pass to resolve or take care of something from your old world, from your old life. Because their power, when you have mythical amounts of power, it can do a lot. But they get one pass, right? And then after that, it's like you have so much power, it's like if you want to go out into the greater cosmos and do your own thing, you can do that, that's fine. But while you're on a shared planet, in order to respect everyone else, you get the one and that's it type energy. Anyway, beyond that, it's just, if we're new to something, there's going to be an adjustment. I'm not saying take advantage of it to do something intentionally petty, and I say that for me, even if this don't necessarily resonate with me, but sometimes I know me. And it's like I got a 6-month grace period. I better, like, I don't want to lose it. You know what I mean? If I get a free pass, I want to use it. Imagine going the whole time and never using that free pass. And it's like the free pass is, you know what I mean? It's there not to entice people, but as an acknowledgement of the experience of navigating significant transformation, difference, whatever. It's not like, oh, and again, I don't know. I was the type of teenager where I told my mom, I don't remember what it was specifically, but I remember telling her, I was like, I'm young. The consequences aren't necessarily what they're going to be when I'm an adult. Like, this is the time where I'm supposed to like make mistakes. So can you let me make this mistake that we both know is a mistake? And my mom was like, no. Especially because we both know it's a mistake. Why would I co-sign or endorse this? And again, for the life of me, I don't remember what it was, but I remember having that conversation with her. That's why I make that comment to me. It's not like, oh, well, in that first 6 months you get a free pass to do whatever. I don't know. Live your life. But going back to that, take it as it resonated. If it don't resonate, don't take it. As the cards came out, it didn't necessarily resonate as you, but you have free will. You can and will do whatever you choose. There was that energy of like, it's possible. Like, it's like just because you have a free pass based off of the understanding of the life that we lived before and the life that we are living and going to live moving forward, and like us within our own experience bridging that difference, maybe we need to feel, maybe part of that strength healing is flexing a little bit. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a part of it. But it's like, in the case of someone goes crazy to the point where if it is a job, they're like, yeah, no, we're not. You did too much. You did too much. We can't have you associated with us now, not after that. Hello? And again, I don't think that would necessarily be the case for anybody. But anyway, it's fine. It's jokes. It was a joke, okay? It was a joke. And again, I'm not saying I would. Because I feel like I wouldn't. For example, like I wouldn't, but it's almost like it's a part of the experience to do it. So it's like, am I missing out on this experience that I don't really want to have? Like, for example, I was never into like partying and stuff like that. I went to a party one time towards the end of my college tenure and I hated it. I was there for like maybe 10 minutes. I was like, it's loud, it's dark, it's way too many people. I ain't got no personal space. But like if I think on the college experience, or if I'm watching a movie where someone's having a college experience, I'm like, man, I didn't do that. Like I didn't go out and party and do this and do that. And then a part of me is like, I didn't want to then, I don't want to now. The one experience I had wasn't great. I know that I didn't miss out on anything, but just like the narrative, I guess, or the story of whatever. So because the star is Aquarius and the Seven of Swords is Aquarius, you could say through the energy of Aquarius, there is an element of authenticity, but it didn't necessarily it seemed a little bit more like the focus would have been, I guess there is the authenticity in letting the lion, but it's like there's such an element of exploration to it. There's so much new to it that authenticity kind of blurs a little bit. Because again, it's like introducing someone to something that they're going to love, but they don't love it yet. And so it wouldn't necessarily be authentic for them to now be in the energy of where they will be after after they learn and get to love the thing, right? For example, if it's a drink, again, what, Lucifer, maybe season 4 or 5, where God was like, hey, I made you your favorite drink. And then she was like, that's not my favorite drink. I don't even know what that is. And then God was like, here, try it. And then she tried it. She was like, that is pretty good. It was her favorite drink, but she didn't know it was her favorite yet. It wouldn't have been authentic for her to act like, oh my gosh, I love this drink. It's my favorite, because she hadn't tried it yet. But after she tried it, to know that she loved it's like now it's authentic for her to do that. It's in that it's navigating transition. It's different. I don't know. It's like this because it's like kind of sort of flimsy, but also like imagine sprinkling a little fairy dust or whatever. I'm a Pisces. Let me Pisces, okay? Pisces is gonna Pisces sometimes. And a Taurus moon is gonna Taurus moon. A place. A final place. Let's get final cards. We're in the final cards. I feel like I should have time stamped this down. Maybe I'll go back and put them in later. Maybe not. I don't know. The countryside and the arcade. Countryside arcade. What is that? Playing in the creek. I don't know. I'm like, what's the countryside arcade? Snail racing? Is that a thing that people do? It's fine. Let me not. Okay, we got a few cards that flipped over. I think it's just those. Bottom of the deck, we have the alleyway, hidden pathway, shortcuts revealed. Interesting. And then the cards that came out, we have the cave and the bank. Cave, Earth's chamber, echoing ancient secrets, and then the bank, vault of valuables and wealth management. Cave and bank is so interesting because we saw, was it the Eight of Earth? Or was it? It wasn't the page because there aren't pages. In the Mystical Dream Tarot yesterday, I believe, clarifying. What did I use the Mystical Dream Tarot to clarify? I clarified two things. The first one had that it was a cave with a lot of like gemstones, right? So a cave bank, a cave full of precious gems. This is also approaching or in the domain of Pluto. Pluto is in Aquarius. Okay. I say that because Pluto rules precious gems and ores and minerals, right? The wealth under the ground. And so the cave bank would be a cave where you find like a bunch of like precious stones, girl. Also, we got hidden pathways and ancient secrets. Valuable ancient secrets? It's a vault of ancient secrets. And we did see the Ten of Pentacles energy, which on its head is more, it's so abundant. It's a wealth that stretches generations. It's multi-generational wealth. And from how the card read, it's the generation of multi-generational wealth. It's the genesis of a new dynasty, not necessarily someone coming into it, but at the same time, I guess with that birthright metaphor, it was kind of there. It doesn't matter. I kind of want to see what's behind the alleyway. A shortcut to where? To the countryside. Peaceful farmland, horizons widened. And then the wedding, bells ringing, union celebrated, bells ringing. Interesting. A shortcut to peace. Also, the rooftop was peace above chaos. Shortcuts revealed hidden pathway to peaceful farmland and horizons widened. Also, there is an element of a reward with the peaceful farmland. She's giving, I believe, Cicero, who was accomplished, was called back to the battlefield, and then retired again, back to that peaceful farm life that he wanted. I'm pretty sure it was Cicero. I've Googled everything else. Why not? Let's look into it. Cicero, Cicero. Should I do farmer or just leave it at Cicero? We'll just leave it at Cicero. I'm not looking for a place. Was that Greek? Oh yeah, Cicero. Marcus Tullius Cicero was a Roman statesman, lawyer, scholar, philosopher, orator, and writer who tried to uphold what? Optimate principles during the political crisis of the Roman Republic that led to the establishment of the Roman Empire. He is considered one of Rome's greatest orators and prose stylists, and the innovator of what became known as Ciceronian rhetoric. He was educated in Rome and in Greece. He came from a wealthy municipal family of the Roman equestrian order and served as consul in 63 BC. Who was, I think it was Roman. Roman warrior, farmer. Name. The most famous warrior and farmer is Lucius Quinctius Cincinnatus. A legendary general and statesman, he is celebrated for leaving his plow to defend Rome from invasion, only to voluntarily surrender his absolute dictatorial power days later to return to his peaceful farm. Cincinnatus, the ultimate symbol of Roman virtue, and his life established the historical archetype of the citizen soldier. So it started with a C. C-I. It wasn't Cicero, it was Cincinnatus. So you could be from Ohio. I'm just okay. That was a joke. Cincinnati, Ohio. That's the only Cincinnati that I'm aware of, but I'm sure there's another one. Maybe in California. Is there a Cincinnati in California? It's fine. It's fine. We're partially locked in. We're focusing. Cincinnatus is who it was. Hello? Oh. Okay, I guess I just put these back on the deck. What did we see? It was places. Oh, the peaceful farmland. That's what it was. He gave up power. He gave up dictatorial power. There's that phrase, absolute power corrupts absolutely. With that Five of Swords energy, with the Pegasus energy, with the star not needing to pour out healing water so it can just grant your wishes, all your wishes. It's incorruptible, indomitable, incorruptible. Absolute power would not corrupt you. Okay, we'll do 2. Whoa, 1. I guess we'll clean flip or clean fall. We're doing. Oh, okay, there they go. The Gilded Reverie. No, not Gilded Reverie. It's still just one. Interesting. Cool. The Gilded Reverie Lenormand. We do got a second one. Okay. I'm pretty sure bottom of the deck is the cross. See this, the cross here with that Arunmila energy. There's some kind of faded energy here. I got the chills, and it's been warm. It's been very warm. So I'm like, man, I should do this more often. because I got the chills right now, and it was hot. I mean, if you're taking it as it resonates, and I think that's also the thing when it comes to like letting the lion in every moment, because we don't know which of those small mundane it's almost like someone it's fine. We don't know which of those small moments are going to be the moment, right? And so with that impact and destined fated things, there's a scale, right? And the scale, like one side of the scale could be you become a household name because something like major. And then the other side is like you impact someone so profoundly. And that impact, there's something about the impact, the person impacted that was fated to happen, that needed to happen. I almost want to say like the divine is almost entrusting you with something. But I'm like, do I want to, like, am I saying that because I want to say it? Or am I saying it because I'm feeling it? Am I saying it because it may be relevant for somebody? I mean, kind of sort of at the end of the day, because you still have free will, even if something is fated, you're still being entrusted with it, which is interesting because I started this new anime. It's a new season. I started this new anime, and there was a fated meeting that happened. Everything, the story was already written, but there are three characters that we are aware of. The story is already written. It's a it's one of those isekai anime, so they get reborn. They were Japanese. In their world, there was this video game. They are all reincarnated and reborn into that world. Two of the people are aware of how things are supposed to go. The hero or the saint of that world is a third reincarnated person, but she had her own thing. So she's going off the script, right? And they're like, there's supposed to be a fated meeting because this big bad is going to happen. And the person that I meet today is supposed to be the heroine that saves the day. And he actually did meet her, but she chose a different path. It's literally like episode 2. But anyway, the point is, even if there is like a fated whatever, they're still entrusting. There's still an energy of entrusting because we have free will. We can do whatever. Anyway, the card that came out is the ship. And the ship is headed to um, here. The ship is headed to the labyrinth, but it's flying, right? So it's gonna, just like there was the horse. So maybe this is also an energy of convergence, right? It speaks to the people, the opportunities that the whatever that you'll find along your path, right? Just as you are sort of in that horse energy locking it in, there's this whole ship that's also headed there. And cool, the cross is on the bottom of the deck. Again, because the cross is on the bottom of the deck, it's giving an almost faded energy. Faded to do what? I don't know, girl. I don't know, but that's what it looks like to me. Let me get the book. The book is right here. I know. I'm pretty sure I saw 43, 13, 47. 43 was that maze. 43 is the rattle. 13 is the crow. 47 is the smoky mirror. The rattle was the one uh, that corresponds to that maze. Okay. Mystical Shaman, Oracle cards with the sorcerers at the bottom of the deck. The Ghost Dance. The Sorcerer and the Ghost Dance. Ooh. See, that's the thing. There's a whole lot of things. All right. Oop. Okay. Who are you? Bottom of the deck is the staff, number 51. So from the rattle to the staff is an instrument of power. Taming the Wind, number 55. 51, 55. Now, why was I looking for the wind? There's a reason why I didn't want to pull it. I don't remember why. Because I was thinking of a second significator that I can use from this deck. And I was like, maybe the wind, because there was an energy of like flying, right? It was in the air. And I was like, the wind isn't the same. Taming the wind, when we saw the Pegasus and we saw the ship, airship, because they're flying, flight is the modality that gives them access to the archway. Taming the winds, but it's also giving me, oh, it was right there. I watched a few anime today. We don't have to go there. Taming the wind is giving me an energy of something that looks like mastery. I say looks like mastery because that's the choice of phrase I'm going to use. It's something that, like, the wind is circumstances, the wind is the current. It's kind of sort of whatever happens in life, right? All of that is the wind. And taming the wind isn't necessarily to control one's circumstances, but to control how one reacts and responds to the circumstances. So you can see why it looks like mastery or some kind of mastery. But it's almost done so like gracefully, maybe, and like effortlessly, that it might have, that like someone may appear to be in control, but they're just like really good at being in the moment, course correcting, showing up, being in tune and aware, and just like doing what they need to do in that moment. Now, yeah, we'll just leave it there. If someone is really good at taming the wind in that way, um, it puts them, I don't necessarily want to say it puts them on a certain path. it opens up different paths. If things find us through the path of least resistance, there's a lot of resistance that is let go. There's a lot of non resistance in that taming the wind energy. So things can find you in a multitude of ways. And even if they're not necessarily concrete or perfect, maybe we're kind of sort of broaching the realm of that ace of air, because I feel like we didn't really, besides the image of the horse being able to fly through the portal, I feel like the energy of the lock, if I'm being honest, at first it felt like the energy of the lock was something that you do on the other side, but almost with this energy of entrusting, it's like the way that you navigate life is what locks it into place. And since you can be just since you it's like it's almost like not that you become a fixer, but it's like you become a specialist. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa, something's going down. Better call you. People are calling you because you can be trusted when everything is up in the air and it's chaotic and crazy. You can be trusted to go in and to tame those winds. Maybe you've gotten so great at de escalating within yourself that you can help others. You do it professionally. I don't know. You do like, not retreats, but people that get hired to like do things at companies. Maybe you do that. I don't know. Ooh, Three of Cups, Page of Swords at the cut. Let's do this one. Final card from the 8-bit Fantasy Tarot deck. The title is literally on the back of the box. 8-bit Fantasy Tarot. Give me your final card, please. Did I get this off of Amazon? Amazon. I meant Instagram. I don't remember. Interesting. The final card is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is the first decan of Sagittarius, which means nothing. um, Maybe it was the horse. I was like, why? I don't think it means anything. It might. I don't know. Um, Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Wands. Under the Ten of Wands is the world. Eight of Wands, Ten of Wands, and the world. Excuse me. What's interesting, maybe this plays off of that energy that we just saw with Taming the Winds, because you can be entrusted again with that energy of things find us through the path of least resistance. There's a lot of non resistance that you hold, which speeds up a lot of things. It makes things a lot faster, but it also kind of comes with this Ten of Wands energy. And it comes with the Ten of Wands energy because you can be trusted in chaos, meaning things don't have to be perfect before you get in there, right? So something usually takes, excuse me, 10 minutes. You can get it done in, it's not getting it done in 8. Between the eight is where you are. 10 is the level of is the degree of the situation. So that's 2. 2 out of 10 is 1 out of 5 is 20%. You can enter whatever 20% faster than the average person. But that also means that the thing is like 20% less perfected, 20% less prepared, 20% less stable. I feel like I don't necessarily know how to say it. It's just like if you're like printing something, right? I don't know if you've ever printed or 3D printed something, but she's giving the old school printers where it would like print, print, like it would go line by line and just like, put the ink down. So you would see it slowly as it's coming out. Or like if you 3D print something and it builds it up like layer by layer. It's like you can be trusted to for sensitive things that are sensitive, things that aren't necessarily complete. Interesting because the storm tracker energy. I mentioned storm trackers recently. I don't remember why necessarily. You can go into the storm and you'll be fine. Um, it's like when it comes to certain emergencies, like with firefighters, if the fire has already claimed so much of a house or whatever, it's like it becomes really dangerous for the firefighter too, to the point where even if you did reach whatever is still in that burning whatever, the chances of you both making it out are slim. But it's almost like you're some super firefighter. And so, in situations that may be like too dangerous for other people, they send you in. I don't know. Maybe you've got I don't know. But I feel like with this Eight of Wands, that's why this Ten of Wands is kind of sort of here. And again, it's coming off of that taming the wind energy, mastering the flow of life. So even if it's a little chaotic or whatever, you can still navigate it. And so, you may be thrown into it a little bit. Maybe not. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. If it don't resonate, don't take it. And there are many different classes and kinds of this energy, right? There are many different roles and forms and functions. Some people are there in case of emergency. Some people are really good under pressure. You can be really, really, really good under pressure. And so, guess who's going to be rushing into that building? It's you. I should have looked before and after the fire. It's not firehouse. Fire station. Goodness. Look, another ship in the Three of Air. Interesting. With the Six of Earth. Six of Earth, you can be entrusted with it. Also, it's a white deer. Interesting. Look at that on the Six of Earth. King of Air and Strength. Alright, I'm ready for the final card. Please give me that final card, please. Ooh. I'm ready for the final card, please. Oh, okay. It flips. We got a papa. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did. Okay. Interesting. See, the Emperor came out. But I was actually, when I was looking through the deck, I didn't notice that it was the Emperor. But when I was looking through the deck, looking for that horse, the flying horse, I noticed the Emperor because I saw like the lion head with like the robe or whatever. And again, I didn't read Emperor, I just noticed there was this lion. The times where the lion needs to lion and the lion is the emperor. Interesting. Um, Going off of that energy of that grace period with the Seven of Swords, um, it's not necessary. It's fine. I'll say it. Some people, it's fine. The bottom of the deck is patience. Here's that 14. Oh, so we got Cancer and Leo. Leo was where the South Node was going to be. So, interesting. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Sun is going to conjunct the South Node at 29 degrees. So, at the tail end of Leo season. Because the nodes, it takes 18 months for them to move 30 degrees. Leo season starts around July 22, 23. The node moves into Leo July 26. It moves from the back. So within a few weeks, I don't think the node is going to move a whole degree. I don't know if that's important or significant in any way. Probably not. Cancer and Leo, Sun and the Moon. Now, technically, this is Sagittarius. That's why Sagittarius was on my brain, because 14. I was like, why was I thinking Sagittarius with that Eight of Wands? Patience. Four 14 is Aries season. If you're curious, April 14th. Anyway, what did I not say? Page of Air. I don't know why I opened this, but the Page of Air is there with the King of Water under it. What is going on here? What is going on here? Okay, so the Seven of Swords was marketed. Um, the energy of the Seven of Swords before was someone voluntarily almost going on a flex tour. This may be involuntary. As someone is rising up into whatever, this King of Water energy, there's something about that sword and the way that he's like scrunching his eyes. It feels like the King of Water may be tempted to clip some wings. And if the King of Water tries to clip wings, that's when the lion's going to have to be a lion. And at that point, it's not a flex tour. It's not like at that point, it's business that needs to be handled. Also, Mercury is retrograding Cancer, isn't it? When I was like, Cancer, what is that? Anyway, what originally came to my mind when I saw the Emperor is the Emperor is that sovereign energy that a lot of people claim to be. You are that girl. You are that guy. Apparently, that's why you can be entrusted with certain things. That's why that 10 of Wands energy is still there. Because again, if you're the one that can rush into that almost hopeless situation or whatever, if you're there, they're going to utilize you type energy. And part of what locks this in is you being there. Doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you have to force yourself to burn out. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you can't take breaks. It doesn't mean you don't take care of yourself. It doesn't mean you don't step away when you need to step away. It doesn't mean you don't use your discernment to know when whatever. Because just like showing up may be what someone needs, just like observing the lion just being a big cat may be what someone needs. Seeing the lion, seeing the emperor enforce a boundary, or seeing an emperor not do whatever may also be what someone needs. And again, that's why it's not like the goal isn't to emulate some kind of behavior or to strive to be a whatever, because the criteria isn't necessarily known. I don't, at least it's beyond my capacity. How about that? I'm not saying that. I ain't saying nothing beyond that. Also, with the strength card being the final step that needs to be taken, and with it being like the lady needs to give the lion room, we see them separate now. We see them separate now. She has the patient, and look, with her hand over her chest, she may be like, right, but she's got to let the lion be a lion, and the lion will mature in its own right, right? Under this patience is the 10 of earth. By the way, that 10 of pentacles energy, the thing growing in the void because the lion can be a lion. And again, there's something that emperor is bringing about. Because it has tamed the winds that would rip and shred and tear others apart. Emperor walks in like it ain't nothing. If that ain't you, don't put yourself in that situation. Again, use your discernment. You know what I mean? Anyway, I almost want to pull up Whispers of Lord Ganesha to like end this off, and I won't because I am following even though I already, it's fine. Those were just significators. I didn't actually pull more cards. Right? Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, I hope you all have an amazing whatever. Whenever you see this, all reacting alignments make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path journey and what you find. And yeah, good times, good energy. I feel like again, I don't know. I don't know why I want to mention it again, but I do. I, going into this, assumed that all of your energy would be on the side of I will tell you. I will tell you exactly. So when it came to the foundation, the right, the before, when it came to your preparation and the pillar of convergence, when it came to liminality and what must be left behind, and when it came to the nexus, which is the focal point, the golden opportunity, I thought all of that energy would be you. And then another beyond the archway slash the divine, I thought that would have been the divine collaboration, the active step, which is this. Well, I guess if it's the decision or bold action that you must take, I don't know why I didn't think that would have been you. Because that's where the Eight of Pentacles came out. Literally the action step. The decision or bold action make, you must take to cross the line. These cards define the breathless moment before the lock. And the keystone, which was it revealed the specific action or mindset shift that clicks everything together. Like, I guess I should have known that that would include you, but for some reason I was just like, oh, all of the you energy will come out in this deck and all of the other energy will come out in the other deck, but you do both. Or you were on, well, it started on one and then it transitioned into the other, which is interesting, maybe because your energy started, if I were to track you, you were the rut. You were cards 1, 2, 5, 7. Now, to be fair, 4 and 5 were kind of both you, but you were more active in 5. And then when card 6 was the Ten of Pentacles, that was more like the other. And card 7 being the Ace of Air was more you. See, okay. Do with that what you will. Okay? I don't have to interpret it for you. Maybe I'll take the 2.5 hours to watch this back. See if it resonates for me and how and where and when and why. Now, this video is basically over. I didn't want to talk in the beginning because, I didn't want to, whatever. But now that we're at the end, it's fine. I can go to bed. I guess I will say nothing. I will say good night. And I will catch y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.